Hello, dear. It's Heather, and you are watching Save Today with Heather J. I am somebody who has spent her entire adult life living paycheck to paycheck and being one life event away from financial crisis. That has been very uncomfortable, and in order for that to change, I need to create and stick to a budget. I felt like it would increase my chances of success to share my journey with others out there. So I decided to create this YouTube channel so that I can have some friends as we take this trip. I also, in the beginning stages of setting up my channel, realized that I am somebody who finds budgeting to be very discouraging and not very peaceful when things are as tight as they currently are. And so I decided, as a way to bring some peace and joy into my channel, as a way to kind of set my channel apart from the 47,000 other channels that are out there, that I'm going to be bringing part of my personality into the channel. And by how I'm doing that is to bring a craft portion into the back end of my channel. Each month I'm going to have a different project. I will be discussing that at the end of the video. For those of you who are interested in that portion, I encourage you to hang out till the end. For those of you who are not, feel free to check out whenever you've seen enough. I appreciate each and every one of you who is here, those who stay for the whole journey, and those who just check in for a couple of minutes. You are all very welcome here. Today, I'm going to be filming my August calendar setup. When I set up a budget, I need to know where my paychecks lie in relation to my rent. That is the thing that sets up my month from the beginning. My rent is due on the first of the month every month. I do have that set up in auto pay, and by setting that up in auto pay, I do have a $3 service fee. What I have found is when I'm left to my own devices to get it to the office, I ultimately don't get there in time. And what's really sad is the rental office is literally 3 blocks away from my apartment. There is no reason for that to happen, and yet it does happen month after month after month. I end up with late fees. So I set it to auto pay. That's going to come out on the first of the month every month, and because of that, I need to make sure that whatever paycheck covers the first of the month, that's the paycheck that starts my month. So while August 1st is a Tuesday, my month of August starts on the 28th of July. So we're going to fill in my calendar and see what bills fall within these pay dates. There are times where I will have something that's not in my month at all based on where it fell last month and next month. And there are times where I end up having to pay the same bill twice in one month. So it's important for me to know where my calendar is before I set up those paychecks. So let's get into this today. This is the only time I have chosen to be filling things out on camera because I'm kind of slow when I write. I stop talking, and it's a pretty dry video if I do that every single time. But for this one, it's important, I think, to fill it out. So on the first, I have my rent, which is $853. The next thing that comes up for me, I did have to set up a payment arrangement for my July phone bill. And so that has to be paid in August as well as my August phone bill. So when I set up that payment arrangement, I broke it down into 2 payments, with the first payment being due on the 13th. And that's my phone here. And this one is only $48. And is that 30 or 80 cents? 80 cents. $48.80 there. And then the second part of that arrangement is actually on the 19th, and that's $195.21. My phone bill at the moment is $236.51, and that is because of several things. I do have 2 phone lines, 1 tablet, and the internet all on my phone line, on my phone bill. And it turns out on 2 of those lines I have some extra insurances. Those will be canceled, but they have not been canceled yet. What those insurances are, they call that their 360 protection, I believe. And that is for screen protectors and phone cases. And so I have that on one phone and one tablet. I am going to cancel those, and that will reduce my bill, but I have ordered one more cycle of the screen protectors. And so when I receive that and when I get that put on, then I'm going to cancel that. Once I realized I had those insurances there, I did some math to figure out what they cover, how much that would cost me if I needed to replace it at my own cost. And obviously, maybe not obviously, because it wasn't obvious to me until I did the math, but basically I will come out ahead. I don't have those numbers directly in front of me right now, but I believe the one phone who I'm currently waiting on screen protectors, I think that's $16 a month for that one. And I went and I found the exact same copy of my screen protectors, found out how much that would cost me to order and to have shipped, and then I would have to put it on myself. Their crew members wouldn't be able to do that. But I think if I do $16 a month times 2 months times 3 months times 6 months, you know, if I have to pay $50 for those screen protectors to put them on myself, I'm going to come out ahead in the end. So that's going to be canceled. Once I did the math and figured that out, that's going to be canceled. The other thing is, up until this point, I do not have my phone on auto pay. I knew because of the situation that was going to be coming up in June or July with my U-Haul that there was a chance I was going to have to make payment arrangements on my phone. And I didn't want to put it on auto pay and have to cancel that. Once I get it on auto pay, now that those life events are over, that's going to reduce my bill by $5 a line. So that should come down $20. I say should because I don't have it yet. I don't have those real numbers. I'm not sure if when they say a line, if that's both of the phones and the tablet and the internet, or only some of those devices. So I don't know, is it going to come down $10, $15, $20? I'm hoping $20. So that will go down. Rambling, long story short, that's going to go down, but right now it's $236.51 a month. So these two payments are my July payment arrangement. And then here on the 17th, I have my August bill, which is again that $236.51. I have a credit card payment that's due on the 15th. I'm just going to put credit card here, $200. And that is a credit card I thought was paid off. I found out I screwed up my arrangements the first time. When I called and asked them to take it out of a different account, 4 days later, they said, sure, no problem. Unbeknownst to me, that canceled my entire arrangement. So while I thought I had been very good, I'd paid all of the things I needed to pay on time, and that credit card was paid for, it in fact was not. And I am now back in a payment arrangement, now with a creditor instead of with the original credit card owner. And so that was my fault based on my lack of knowledge. I'm sharing that knowledge with any of you who happen to find yourself in that situation. I do have a subscription due here on the 16th for $10.82. And that is it for my current bills. However, I do have some old bills that are on my carryover, my debts and desires at the end of each month, and I'd like to get those taken care of. One of them is for old rent. When I left my last place, I say old rent, but it's not actually rent. It's all of the cleaning and the service fees that they tack on when you move out. You know, you pay your first and last and your security deposit, and you never ever get any of your money back. But I have some old rent that I'm trying to get taken care of. Now, I called that creditor and I wanted to set up a payment arrangement, and I wanted it to be for over 12 months. It's $709 that bill is, and I wanted to have that be 12 months, which would have been roughly $50 a month. They can't break that down that far. I'm not exactly sure why, but something about how low the bill is, they can't stretch it out for 12 months. So what they could give me was $70.94. She did say when they set up payment arrangements, there is a $13 or a $15 service fee that comes with that, unless you pay with American Express. And the lady on the phone did say I could go get an American Express prepaid card and reload that, and they won't charge the service fees for American Express. Now, I've never tried to do that before, and I don't know if that's going to work out, so I'm still in the research stages of that. I'm going to be paying the $70.94, and that's what I've written down here, and I just put that on the 22nd because at this time it doesn't have an exact date because I haven't finalized those details yet. The other thing I want to try and get paid this month is from my holdover debts. This one is Banner Health, and this is a $50 copay that they wanted to pay. They wanted me to pay for a COVID test. I got COVID in Thanksgiving 2021, I think. And I had to go in and get the initial test that came back positive, but before I could go back to work, I had to go get another test that came back negative. And this was just on the cusp of when at-home tests were available. And so my insurance would not cover that second test. I had to pay the $50 for that second test. Banner Health has been calling me and texting me and emailing me fairly regularly about this payment. So I want to try and go ahead and get that taken care of. Now, I know there are some programs that hospitals have that may write off your debt, and I've not researched that. They are financial based programs, and I'm not sure that I feel like I qualify enough to try that at this point. So I'm going to try and pay that this month. And then the last thing, as a stretch goal, I have this one medical bill that went to collections, this AR Strat. It's $41.66, and so I fit that on the last day of this month. I really want to try and get that taken care of. This is a co-payment that I thought I had paid for medical equipment. I sleep with a CPAP machine, and I had ordered some on my insurance, and then I had a co-pay, and I thought I paid that, and I only paid part of what I owed. Now, you're hearing me say I thought I paid that. I thought that was done. They may have. Because I'm somebody who lives paycheck to paycheck, have a tendency to get a bill and go, oh, I can't pay that, and just toss that to the side. And I do this, ostrich with my head in the sand. I just pretend it's not there, and eventually it goes away, and then eventually it shows back up again. So there's a lot of these situations where I thought something was paid for, or I didn't realize. And that's because of my own inattentiveness. That's what this channel is about, is to address that inattentiveness and to make sure I'm aware of and addressing things as they come up so that I can climb out of this hole, fill that in, and then have some surplus. So that's where I'm at. That's what my calendar looks like. The only thing due in my first check at this point was my rent for $853. All of the rest of my bills fall within that second pay period, and we'll see where I go with that. These last three, the reason they're on the last few days of the month is because I haven't finalized those details yet. This one for sure, I really like, these are just stretch goals. I really want it done or it wouldn't be there at this point, but I don't have a committed day for that, so we'll see how that goes. And then for those of you who are here to stick with me from the crafting portion of my journey, that is where we're at right now. For those who are not and who are checking out now, I want to thank you for joining me. I'm still a very new budgeter. I'm still a very new YouTuber. There is nothing fancy about what I'm doing here, and I stumble over my words a lot. So I know that there are prettier places, happier places to hang out than right here with me. I thank you so much for being here. For those of you who are sticking around to check out my crafting journey, I thank you. This is really where my joy and personality comes out, and I thank you for being a part of that. Because I am short on time this month. I'm about 2 weeks behind schedule, so I really only have 2 weeks left in August, so I don't have a time for a big project. So I have decided to kind of revisit something that some of you may vaguely remember. In May, I was working on a laundry bag made out of old jeans that I had had. I am somebody who, no matter what my size is, which at this point is fairly large, I wear, my thighs always rub and wear a hole in my jeans. And then they become uncomfortable and painful to wear. Even when I was a very petite young teenage person and was at like 105 to 120 pounds, my thighs rubbed and would wear out there. I'm not somebody who has been blessed with a gap between her thighs. So I am somebody who in some areas is very concerned with the amount of waste and surplus we have. I struggle to throw away all of the perfectly usable material in a pair of jeans for a small hole this big. So I have begun harvesting and deconstructing my jeans and some of my shirts to try and, I'm sorry about the trains, you guys. I wish I could stop it. There's no way for me to stop it, and I'm not tech savvy enough to know how to cut that out and splice video pieces together. I apologize. What was I saying? So I have decided to keep some of my jeans and harvest them and use them and turn them into something else. That whole reduce, reuse, recycle. So I'm going to recycle and upcycle my jeans. So in that I have a bucket of a bunch of jeans that I have harvested down. And so I've got the entire pant leg. I just cut out the crotch, cut out all of the seams. I tossed the seams away, and I saved all of these bizarre pieces. Why am I showing you that? What does that have to do with this month's project? I have always wanted to take the pockets and turn those pockets into pot holders. So I have a stack here of the pockets I have saved, and these are the parts that were left when I harvested the jeans that I did for the laundry bag we did in May. So I cut some of these legs off. So I wanted to do it where it's a hot pad where your hand goes in this pocket and your thumb goes in this pocket, and you can reach in and grab the things out of the oven. So that's what I'm going to do with this month. I'm going to see how many hot pads I can make with the materials I have left here. And then when my August is over, like I said, I'm middle of August now. I've got 2 weeks before we start going into September. I'm going to just get as much as I can done in the 2 weeks that I have available to me, and that is what I will be working on in the background. Because today I'm going to be filming as many of the first Paychecks videos as I can, I'm not going to have much to show difference from one video to the next. So I will talk about some other portions and some of the other things I need to make that happen in some of those other videos. But for right now, this stack is what I have left from my original stack of, I don't know if it was 7 or 12 pairs of jeans that I harvested. And I do have some polo shirts that I harvested and turned into basically t-shirt yarn so that I can make some rugs and mats with those. I haven't actually done that yet, but I have boxes and boxes, I think 2 or 3 boxes of clothes that need to be harvested, and I have a couple of things hanging in my closet now that need to be harvested. If and when, not if, when I get my business started, part of what that will be offered with that is some of these products using these reused, upcycled things. So so that's part of what that is. There is no way I could use all of the things that I currently have for myself. So that is what I'm doing. I'm doing a project for myself. I'm doing a project to share with you, and I'm doing that in preparation for future business. So all of those things kind of interweave into everything I am doing. And with that, I am done with today's video. I thank you so much for joining me. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please have fun today. Bye-bye now.